All right, one of my favorite things to do is go through a company's financial statements, their 10Q and 10K, as well as their earnings call transcripts, because I get to learn more about what's going on inside of the business. Of course, and then I do all the valuation metrics and I do my proprietary discounted cash flow valuation models, etc., and dig into the numbers. But qualitatively, I like to understand what's going on inside the business, what kind of products they're selling, who's buying their products, what kind of risks they're facing, and you get to learn a lot from a company's 10Q statement. That's what I'm going to do here for Palantir. I'm going to dig into their most recently released 10Q statement, which came out in May of 2025. And I'm going to highlight and share with you the highlights that I took away from the company's 10Q statement. And we're going to learn a lot from what the company said here. I know Palantir is the type of business that a lot of investors are interested in, but don't really understand what Palantir is about, the details about its services, how it generates revenue, its products, and the recent growth in revenue and profits, etc. So let's dive in. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. So I've pulled up here Palantir's 10Q statement and I've went through a lot of the important sections. And where I'm at here is on the business overview. And if you want to follow along, this is page 24 of the company's 10Q statement. And I can understand these are intimidating for investors. It's a 120-page document, and the company releases one every 3 months. And so it can be difficult for an investor that's not a full-time investor to dig through all of these details and evaluate all of these things for the companies that you're following. Thankfully, I do all of that for you. I go through all of these companies that I follow. I read all of their 10Q and 10K statements, their conference call transcripts, and I bring you all of that analysis so that you don't have to spend so much time doing your due diligence on the companies you're interested in buying or selling. So for Palantir, what they say here is that they build software that empowers organizations to effectively integrate their data, decisions, and operations at scale. And the key part there is data. When corporations can incorporate their proprietary data to make decisions, to gain insights from their data to make decisions, they can make better decisions that enhance their competitive advantage. And this is more difficult to do the larger you become as an organization. The larger you become as an organization, the more you're at risk of diseconomies in scale, where you're inefficient because of your size. You're inefficient because there's too many people to manage effectively. Every manager has too many people that they're responsible for, and so they can't manage effectively because the organization has grown too large. Palantir helps with that by incorporating the data to make decisions and gain insights, especially for it's especially for businesses at large scale, because Palantir services are so expensive, they're only affordable to the largest companies in the world. And so they're designed to help corporations at scale. So they were founded in 2003 and started building software for the intelligence community in the United States to assist in counterterrorism investigations and operations. Of course, following the 9/11 attacks, there was a strong interest in the United States to root out and find terrorists within the United States and terrorists outside of the United States that were interested in harming the United States' interest. And so Palantir initial launch was to serve that purpose. But since then, they've grown to serve enterprises as well as government institutions. So they have four principal software platforms. Gotham and Foundry enable institutions to transform masses of amounts of information into integrated data asset that reflects their operations. And then AIP leverages the power of their existing machine learning technologies alongside generative AI models, including large language models, and integrate that directly within Gotham or Foundry to help operationalize AI on enterprise data. In other words, using all of a company's proprietary data, incorporating it with artificial intelligence, therefore making it searchable, making it automated, making it deliver insights to people. Imagine having an automated Slack message that goes out to employees when your AI finds something interesting that it sends out to all relevant employees that can then act on that data, right? Maybe the AI finds an opportunity within your data that then sends an automated Slack message to the relevant individuals who can then make decisions and say, oh, our store in North Carolina needs double the amount of bottled water because the weather says that there's going to be some kind of event that requires or that's going to generate double the amount of water sales in that store. That kind of insight, right? Which would be difficult to identify if you're a large corporation like Walmart. But if you have AI and the AI is also keeping tabs on what's happening, incorporating all of that data and sending insights, then your business can be all that much more effective with the help of AI. So in 2023, they began deploying their newest offering, AIP, which has been incredibly successful. In 2023, the company, well, in mid 2023, when AIP really started to gain traction, is when Palantir really started to generate accelerating revenue growth and profitability. And that's what really created this surge in Palantir stock price that you're noticing today. It all started with AIP. Before AIP, Palantir stock price was stagnating. Investors were frustrated with the company. Profitability was not all that great, and they had been around for 20 years. But after AIP is when really Palantir designated itself as an excellent AI company. So AIP is designed for customers across commercial and government sectors, enabling them to derive value from recent breakthroughs in AI. It allows users to connect large language models and other AI with their data and operations to facilitate decision making within the legal, ethical, and security constraints that they require. That part is key also. Imagine if you're a bank, you need to have security constraints and legal guardrails against using this artificial intelligence. The data or the insights that you gain from the artificial intelligence needs to be grounded on data. It needs to be grounded on proprietary data or otherwise data that can be pointed to as a sufficient reason for making decisions. You need to have that you need to have that grounding. You can't just go and search ChatGPT for something and then implement that and point to that as the reason for your decision when you're operating something like a bank or a healthcare institution. Um, so that's really a foundational reason why so many enterprises and government institutions are choosing AIP with Palantir. So every institution faces challenges that their platforms and products were designed to address. And they've done a great job with this. Many institutions are saying that, look, Palantir is like the best in class service. And I've been saying that for years, that the only constraint for Palantir is being able to deliver its services at a low enough price so that more and more institutions can afford it, right? Because if I could afford Palantir services, I would no doubt pay for Palantir services. I could use improvements in so many categories that Palantir can help identify all of the data that I'm generating throughout my business. Palantir can help identify and improve and make my business more effective. But I can't afford Palantir services. And many other businesses that are of similar size can't afford Palantir services. It has very, very low numbers of actual customers, but each customer spends a large amount of money with Palantir. If it can make its service more affordable, it can broaden out the customer base and therefore boost its revenue and profitability even more because it can sell to more people. Right now, it can't sell to as many customers, as many enterprises because it's so expensive. But it has it has that market potential, right? Because every business would be interested in these services. I feel like Palantir is taking market share away from some of the consulting businesses that are becoming less effective. Those like McKinsey, um, you could think of some others that are, accounting companies that are also offering consulting services. They've become not very effective, right? Their strategy for everything seemingly has been just cost cutting, right? Anytime a business, or most cases where businesses go to hire one of those consulting firms, the outcome of the research of the consulting firms was cut cut people, cut costs. That was really the extent of their advice to enterprises. And now Palantir comes in and is able to offer more sophisticated, more proprietary, more custom fitting strategies and insights to each specific business. That's beyond just saying, let's cut costs, let's fire people to increase profits. And so it's gaining market share, it's gaining traction, and it's great news for Palantir stock investors. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.